Did you want me to scoot over here, Todd?
You can move over a little bit.
Do you want us to scoot down that way, or you scoot?
Are
over
we
here?
fine?
Yeah, you're fine.
What am I on? Okay. The other exciting news is we actually got a letter.
No.
Yeah.
Like in the mail,
It's
with
not
the stamp
I would
on
have
it?
forwarded it immediately. See, this is good stuff for the cod. I gotta stop.
All right, haven't we offended anybody? Are we on, by the way?
No.
Oh, we should be on right now.
I know.
Todd, you were bugging
you're
us
recording.
to be on. Oh, are we?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
I haven't you know.
Okay, we'll start.
We'll let Scott edit
Love
it.
y'all.
We got the Christmas music going in the background. I'm a big fan of that.
Feel free, everybody, to come on in. I feel like we're so, what are they doing?
Can I just say one more thing about the
No.
whole
You're listening
harassment?
to Somethin About Nothin.
Oh.
We've got a few folks just like you to talk about what's happening in sports, the news of the day, and the absurdity of life. Here's our host, Scott Oshman.
You want me to redo that and
Alrighty.
make that a little louder?
Yeah, because it is really weak. Let's start over.
You're
Save
listening
that.
To Something About Nothing.
See,
We've
it's
got a
still
few folks
still
just
real
like
low.
you
Hold
to talk about
on.
What's happening in sports, the news of the day,
had the wrong
and the
one.
absurdity of life. Here's our host, Scott Oshman. You're listening to Something About Nothing. We've got a few folks just like you to talk about what's happening in sports.
Yeah, is there?
The
There's
news
a
of the
hum,
day,
there's a
and the
something, something.
absurdity of life. Here's our host, Scott Oshman.
Hold on.
You're listening to Something About Nothing.
That's better.
We've got a few folks just like you to talk about what's happening in sports, the news of the day, and the absurdity of life. Here's our host, Scott Oshman.
Okay, we are plausibly live. This time it is a recording on a Thursday night, December 14th. Hello, happy holidays, Melakaliki Maka, Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Did I mention that already? Anyway, we are at Cunio's tonight. Back at Cunio's at the big table.
It's a good venue.
It is.
I like it.
Tim Boyle in
It
the
feels
house.
right.
It does.
It's like a round
Fernalicious.
table.
It is a round table. Good for conversation is what one of our goals here. Tracy Jansen and the five-tool player, Todd Elvig, in the house tonight. So thank you to Chris Cunio, Shannon, Haley at Cunio's, everybody. I mean, I sent the text, and it was just immediately, for sure, you're in. Thursday night, you need the big table. They have a nice sign here for us.
And they promote it on
They did.
Facebook.
Yes.
Yes, on social media.
Yes.
What sign is that? Is that the for sale noble fur?
They do have some very nice noble furs out.
They do too.
It's very good. So I got a couple housekeeping things because it's exciting. Again, I like to update everybody, all the listeners, because we keep getting a couple more each week, actually a lot more. So we are just under 500 downloads through 5
Whoa.
episodes.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm very excited to report we got our first letter at somethingaboutnothin.com.
Is
you
it
can
hate mail
contact
letter?
When you say letter, is it email or like somebody actually put a letter in the mail?
If I put your address if they want to send an actual
Yeah.
physical letter, because usually that's not good.
That's true.
And you have
It's
enough
like
security there. to-
Unabomber syndrome.
So I gave him that. This was an email that came in from Big Fan at I won't give the email address, but its subject was college expenses. So listening to last week's episode where we tried to edumacate on college and tuition, great points. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but we completely left out military. We left out, he's got all these great things about their numerous non-combat vocations in the Army that currently have 2-year enlistments, personnel clerk, finance clerk, ophthalmology assistant, all this stuff, 10 weeks of basic training, and all these things that will pay for college. And that's an excellent point, which we didn't bring up. And I have a good friend, actually, in Arizona, whose whole family was in the Army, him, his brother. His older brother saved me from flunking out of college. We won't go into that now. And his philosophy, and he has 3 kids, is like, oh, I'm not paying for college. You're going in the Army or military, and that's how you're going to pay for college. So that makes sense. But very exciting, our first letter.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Isn't that
I
nice?
love that feedback. I love that our first letter was so positive.
It was. It said, great pod. It said, keep up the good work.
And I wonder how he heard about our podcast.
I don't know, because it was very
so-
cryptic who it is. The email's even very cryptic.
What,
Oh, so
what's
this
the
wasn't
date?
like one of your family members?
I
that
don't-
you
if
know?
they
What's
were-
the date on it?
The date is December 6th, 11:48 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when I got it. Big fan. Email. Should I give the email address out?
No.
How about
No,
that?
no.
It's not really a personal email address, but anyway. Okay, so
You'll
that's
never get another email if you give it out.
That's true. So anyway, we encourage people, something about nothing. You go to the contact, and you can write us an email. The other thing is just let everybody know scheduling. The other exciting thing is on Tuesday, I got two friends of mine, two texts about when's this week's episode going to drop.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
Like, people are actually looking forward to it.
Maybe
They're
we'll get
on the
3
edge of their seat.
people asking next time. And for those listeners, because it's a Thursday night, because I was traveling back from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, my hometown, on Monday night. So we do have some scheduling things over the holidays. Okay, next Monday night, we're going to hopefully record back at Fred's.
As in this coming.
Yeah,
Monday.
if you're available, sir. Check your schedule.
I'll have my people.
Is it
call
one of your
people.
18 Christmases parties?
It could be, actually.
Okay.
I'm-
Well, and then Christmas is the next week.
Yes.
So we'll have to just stay tuned. I don't know how to check, but
And
really.
New Year's is the week
Yeah.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
between Christmas, New Year's, and then I'm traveling. I mean, I don't know. Just, we're playing it
Did
by
you look
ear.
at those graphics? Did you just see that?
On the
That was smoking.
no, we
they
don't.
took and they did like a, when they do the telestrator thing, and he goes back to pass. It's the Sunday night or
Thursday night football. Well,
is
see, we
on
don't
right now.
discuss it because we banned it.
Oh, have you banned it?
Yeah, we went over that.
But
before.
they did. He goes like this, and they did a little circle. They drew on it, like the Turkey Day with
like John Madden used to do. I used to love that.
Oh yeah, it's classic.
Love that.
Can you do a John Madden impression?
No.
Tracy, Fern,
No,
anybody?
Sorry, no.
You
Not-
can, though,
No.
can't you?
You? But what you want to do is just bam it right in there, and then he comes around a corner. It's not a good one,
That's
really.
actually
It's
pretty
not,
good.
It's not bad. It was just kind of off the cuff.
Way better than I could do.
Yeah.
Well, you do the Howard Cosell,
I
too,
do
right?
Howard, and I forgot to turn our timer on, so we're already behind.
Well, if you would have
Next
caught
week
the
you're gonna
ball,
have
it would have been a touchdown.
Is that
Yes.
Howard? Is that Jim? Is that Madden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So sports-wise, the Seahawks, I thankfully didn't see it. I have a really good timing. I miss the bad stuff.
And that makes me mad. It really does. That bothers me. Because I got to sit and watch it and just suffer through it. And I usually like to text you and complain about it.
It is one of my favorite parts. We were just hammering what's going on, texting back and forth. But they lose, so 30-24 to Jacksonville Jaguars. But that's not even the story. Once again, the Seattle Seahawks are the embarrassment of the NFL. No?
100%. Yeah.
Fern?
What happened at the end of the game is criminal. It just was ridiculous. The game was lost. There was no reason to do any of that crap they were doing. And Michael Bennett's diving at the guy's knees, the center's knees, and he does it on 2 plays, and two other people besides Bennett get ejected. The one guy which guy went in the
Jefferson.
stands? Jefferson starts acting like he's going in the stands, chasing a fan, and
I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, what are we doing? Is it the MMA or is it the NFL?
we look like a bunch of thugs, is what we look
It's
like.
unbelievable.
They look childish.
Yeah, Fern, what was
It's
your...
like that's what. Well, okay, so I struggle a little bit. I have the problem with turning off my TV when I get mad at it. So I may not have seen it until it was recorded because I got mad at the game. But the recorded part of it, when I did watch it later, that's what I thought is that grow up. But they're not grown-ups. They're a bunch of youth playing.
Professionals.
But no, okay, they get a big paycheck, but they're not grown-up.
But
No.
they're also playing a testosterone-fueled
Yes.
sport.
Yes.
And I don't condone what happened at all. I think it's, a bunch of dumb boys behaving
dumb
badly.
boys. That's a,
But at the same time, sometimes we hold these athletes to this, expectation that we expect you to go out and just kill people, and get that testosterone. And then as soon as you're, done with the play, you're going to be a perfect gentleman. I'm not saying they shouldn't do that, but I'm saying I think, to turn that on and off, I don't know. I don't know
I'm
how
with
they
you.
do it.
I'm with
I
you.
think you're right. The heat of the moment, and you're right. They get all hyped up and they're jacked up, but the problem is the game was over, and it didn't just happen on one play with one player. It was multiple players, and they did it on back-to-back plays, and they're fighting, and like I said, Bennett's going after the guy's knees, and
It was a junk
if you can
show.
forgive it if it happens once or whatever, you can say, oh yeah, okay, made a bonehead move, but when they continue to do it, keep in mind there's 32 teams in the NFL, so every week 16 teams lose, right? Well, it's not happening with all the other teams in the NFL.
That's
a good point.
yeah.
Yeah, good point.
And it's about discipline. It's about coaching. It's about just a conduct. And Pete Carroll came out and felt remorse.
Which I feel was probably one of the most interesting thing that came out of it, because he has allowed that team to be those punk-ass kids all these years. But he finally drew the line. That's how I felt. He's
How
like,
did he draw the line?
Afterwards.
He actually, yes, he did it afterwards, but he's never come out before, and he's just kind of all in the past. Oh, the penalties are the penalties. Oh, yeah, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be. And he finally came out, and it was Richardson, I think it was, that he specifically identified that. He said, oh, yeah, we've talked to him and let him know that is not acceptable. So, but
Well,
he's
I think
never
he
even
has
stood
to
up.
say that, doesn't he? I mean, that's the
He
least
never has
he has
before.
to say. Well, this was a
Yeah.
little bit different behavior than what's
I don't
happened
know.
with
Some
all
of-
their normal
yeah.
penalties.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
Then-
we have a policy at STSPN
Yeah.
that if there is some sort of conflict on the field, the camera goes right to the
Oh,
conflict.
absolutely.
That's
Yes.
not only just that. I mean, bodily fluids.
Okay,
I mean, there's
so,
a long list.
So here's my point with that, right? As upset as the Seattle fans are with it, right, acting like children, I got to tell you that the stratosphere,
Yeah.
the masses.
Oh yeah, because everyone wants to see
They
a.
love it.
Everybody was
Yeah.
flipping that on, trying to see, and they went to the after the show game or shows, after the game shows, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what happened?" Right? Because even here, we're sitting here talking about it. It's sometimes those little things are huge for media.
It's a good point
I
because
totally
Yeah.
agree
we,
with
we,
that.
we
too.
got more airtime on ESPN and everybody else for a 30-24 loss as far as Seattle goes because of that.
Yeah, but
because
it's
of the-
all negative, and people.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with the Seahawks. Around the NFL, the Seahawks are not the most well-liked team.
No.
They-
Or respect.
Yeah, or respected. They kind of think we're a bunch of thugs and babies and cheaters.
They're
and-
easy to hate. They
Yeah,
were in
they're-
even the Super Bowl years because
Yeah.
they're cocky as hell and just ugh. But I loved them.
Come on, don't you remember Gary Payton?
Oh yeah, the
Come
glove.
on, the trash talk
That's-
of the West.
Did you know you are reading my
What?
little show rundown? Because that leads me into kind of the basketball. Into we actually are going to get an NHL team apparently here in the Seattle area.
I know, I like it.
I mean, we are all the controversy about where to build it and rebuild it and all this stuff. I mean, I'm not a big NHL fan. I've been to games when I lived in Los Angeles, and NHL playoff hockey is pretty compelling. I mean,
there's some rabid fans out there.
Yeah.
that-
Hockey's a
NHL fan.
pretty good game.
Yeah.
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's-
fights. To your
Oh,
point
yeah.
earlier.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
But
funny
that's
because
part of that
Tanner's a
culture.
big fan of NHL, and we don't have a team around here, so he's just caught up, on TV for different teams. I think he'll love it. I
Somebody
think he'll
didn't
love
like.
it.
Somebody doesn't like that. There's a NHL. If you hear in the background, we're at Cunio's here again. Thank you to them.
She said no, and
yeah,
no.
she doesn't want the NHL to come.
Apparently.
apparently.
Well, she
No.
wants they want the NBA.
NBA.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about NBA?
M-
We're looking
yeah.
over at her. She's
Back
adorable,
to
by the way.
Sonics.
Anyway.
Well, the thing about the NHL that's kind of interesting is the fact that we do have almost NHL level hockey with the Thunderbirds and the Silvertips. That's pretty good hockey.
Yeah. they're-
So we've developed a pretty good fan base already here. So
And then what about the Snow Bowl?
Oh my
I got to
gosh.
catch a little bit of that. And Tim, you were talking before. It's the biggest snowstorm or anything you've seen in NFL. I feel like I've seen different ones, or maybe it's my childhood when we went out and just the minute it was just pounding snow, we just run out and start playing football.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I'm
And
with
they were-
Did
Tim.
you
I've
see it?
never seen anything like it.
I was
Did you see the Mister?
I
Anything?
did-
You got anything?
No, I have no idea
Todd?
what you're talking about.
at some points in that game there was like a foot of snow on the field. Literally, they couldn't even get it off fast enough to get the like the 10-yard line and 20-yard line.
I know in the field goals they literally had somebody come out and
Yeah, and I'll bring the field. That's a good point because there's some controversy on the field goal too. Like who's the kicker for
Hauschka?
No, the other guys.
Oh, the guy who's like 80 years old and
Yeah.
still kicks. Yes, I know. He's for the Colts. He did it for he's been there
Yeah.
forever. He's on tonight actually, Denver and Indianapolis.
But he's Vinatieri.
Yeah,
Vinatieri.
yeah.
He's
No, you got to say it like this. Vinatieri.
well, he may lose a $500,000 bonus.
Are you
because he
serious?
missed 2 field goals. He's got like this $500,000 bonus if he hits like 90% on his field goals, and he has been all year. but then he missed 2 field goals in that snow where nobody could kick a field goal.
Oh, and do you
it was
think
almost
this-
impossible. So they say it's gonna make it so he doesn't get that $500,000.
Well, do you think the Seahawks kicker, Blair Hottie Walsh, you think he has a bonus like that?
for what, missing 7 field goals already? I think he's missed the most in the NFL.
He might as well have a bonus like that because he's missing them all. They don't have to pay it.
Spencer
They could
Pettit.
make it $1 million.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But
true.
back to that game, though.
Yes.
So I've been watching football for basically my whole
I
life.
mean, when you were like 4.
Yeah. I was an early adopter. I've never
Were you out
seen
there with
any
your
type-
dad reffing? Were you watching
Yeah,
him
oh
when he
yeah.
was
We were
reffing?
we had our own flags and everything.
Inside the house?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, actually, for that beer, is it like, could you get flagged for bringing the wrong beer if the beer wasn't cold enough?
It
You
had to
should
be-
see him scold me when the beer is not cold enough.
Well, the mountain's got to be blue. I mean, you got to know better. I mean, come on.
But
How
what-
long have you been drinking beer?
Just since I met you. But anyway,
You guys are digressing here.
what
know.
about, you haven't seen a game like that?
Never.
That's with
I mean,
snow.
it was so much snow. They were building snowmen in the stands.
It looked
literally.
fun.
It did.
Right? That's what I thought. I'm like, those people are having a good time.
What a blast.
Right?
It slowed the game down quite a bit. Nobody could really do anything.
I think they're earning their money on games like that.
Yeah.
And same thing with the equipment crew and all of that stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay. I went to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Did I guys tell you that? I went back to my hometown. Some people I haven't seen for 30 years in the southeast part of the state, about 3.5 hours west of Chicago. Oh, my God, is everything so cheap there. It's unreal how inexpensive in the value.
You could move there and be a prince.
To live like an it's unbelievable. I was telling you guys, I went down there. We had this, and it's revitalized. The Cedar Rapids had a big flood in 2008. They got some national things right downtown. So they've rebuilt it. It's actually really cool. They have some nice restaurants. We went out. I mean, there were 6 of us. There were appetizers. I mean, multiple wines, beers. $98. We were there for
Whoa.
3 hours. $98.
6 people.
It was incredible. I literally looked at it line by line. I'm like, this can't be right.
You said
like-
you were there 3 hours. That would have been $98 an hour here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Everything. The houses are. It's just. It was great. The other thing is, everyone's so nice. I mean, in Snohomish, it's nice. People are nice, but the community, people wave everywhere, and it just made me think of the Seattle Chill. You know what the Seattle Chill is, right?
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
of it.
Is that an oxymoron? Because
No, people.
I'm
It's not that
kind of
friendly.
an expert at the Seattle Chill. I was born and raised here, so yeah. It's like I will be very personable and friendly and say, hey, let's go have coffee, and I'll be like, okay, and then we'll never talk again.
See, yeah, and I mean neighbors and
It's
stuff like
horrible,
that.
but it's true. It's absolutely true. I blame the Scandinavian roots, because my grandparents were from, Finland and Sweden, and they're very pleasant people, but they hold everybody at about an arm's length. You don't want to socialize too much.
I thought the people were pretty friendly up here, coming from Arizona when I came up here 24 years ago. But it is people kind of keep to themselves. Nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing
Well,
here.
I think
It's
people have
true.
their
My
inner
gosh.
circle and they don't want to let people in,
Elvig, nothing.
I don't know anybody.
You don't talk to
anyway.
anybody. That's
I
true.
just put on my Twitter feed the other day.
You have a Twitter feed?
I do.
Whoa.
I know. I don't know anybody who follows me.
I'll have to
I'm gonna
actually.
follow you right now. What's
have-
what's the handle?
It's Trixie the cat.
Trixie the cat.
Yeah.
Trixie the cat. You heard it here.
No, but I don't have that many.
Well, you're going to now. It's on the podcast. You're going to have
Yeah,
like a
it's-
million followers.
don't-
Is
I-
it TRIXIE?
That's it.
THECAT? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
K-
way too fast spelling.
K-A-T.
Whoa.
And they're all
Okay,
separate.
K-A-T.
They're separate words.
Is that the common spelling of cat?
Well, you
It's been
can-
a long time since I've been in school.
I think we're digressing
Oh.
right now.
Well, you can also follow TV Boyle, Tim Boyle 15, T Boyle
T-Boyle
15.
15, right?
Was-
Are
yeah.
you're on
T-Boyle
Twitter
15.
too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I'm
I'll follow
huge.
you back.
I got 7 followers.
Fernalicious.
I'm not. I'm not a Twitter.
Fern, you got to do
My
it.
point was what I tweeted was that I believe that I will be that shut-in that everybody talks about.
So you're saying I'm going to have to come visit you?
I already am.
But I kind of relish that. I'm not. It's not like something that I'm saying. Oh, look, poor
I
me.
thought you had the soup kitchen going and everybody's invited.
I'm a bit of an oxymoron
Okay.
sometimes.
You're
you
an
know?
enigma.
There you go.
If you're
So-
not following Tracy Jansen on Instagram, shame on you. Because
No.
you should be, because it's funny, it's clever, it's entertaining. You take great photos, and then also you can catch the blog, which was
The
3
blogs
things.
there, yeah.
But it's good stuff.
Well, thank
I
you.
post like once every 6 months. or something.
I'm
Yeah,
about that.
I
But
should
that
take a
point,
picture of
actually,
the
let me put
podcast.
this out. We have an opening. Of course, there's no pay or no anything, but that's okay. We need a social media. Like, we should have a Something About Nothing Twitter handle and Facebook
You're
page
right.
and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Don't you think?
Absolutely,
We
yes.
need that for sure.
So you
yeah.
can email us at
can apply
something
at-
letters at somethingaboutnothing.com or the contact page on somethingaboutnothing.com.
It doesn't pay anything, but the work's really hard to
Perfect.
make up
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, we have a great band actually from my state of Iowa, but we're gonna get out of here on that. We're gonna come back and we're gonna. It's time for the Yiddish word of the week with Don Oshman,
Uh-oh. Awkward
and we're
silence.
calling. That's good for editing. See, I'm now doing the editing, so I did that purposely.
Why do you choose every place that you go, Scott, has no cell service? I don't get that.
Because it's Snohomish. Can we talk about that?
No.
There's like 8 towers, and I can't get a cell to save my life. I'm looking at this gentleman. He's laughing. Is this true? Do you have this problem?
Yiddish Words Central.
Anyway, well,
Hello,
so hi,
Don.
Dad. How you doing? Sorry, we were calling my father. I apologize. I got in a conversation about bad cell service around here. Yeah, self-service in Snohomish. We're not there yet. Dad, how are you?
I am fine. This is appropriate that I'm sitting in Chompy's eating.
Are you in
Chompy's?
Chompies?
I
Jewish
love a
delicatessen
restaurant
in,
called
uh,
Chompy's. That's awesome.
In
Tell-
Scottsdale.
Teach us about little soul food, Dad. That would be good.
The Yiddish word of the week is Chompy's. Okay.
No, it's not. What's
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, well, geez, you're so
always
quick
ready.
to it because you got to eat. What are you
Always
having
ready.
though? I want to know what you're having.
I'm having chicken in the pot.
Nice.
Like chicken pot
I have
pie?
a cold. I have a cold.
Oh, you got
and
a
when
little
you have
bubonic.
a cold, you're supposed to have chicken soup and whiskey.
Right.
That's the old.
I thought you were
the
supposed to have
old
matzo ball soup and whiskey.
I
No,
thought
the
it was
matzo
just
ball
whiskey.
Takes up too much room in the soup bowl.
Hey, I heard a comedian the other night was talking about. Have you ever heard anybody say, I went to this Jewish restaurant last night, and man, that food was good.
Well, where?
Have you ever heard about that? Is that a joke? Like
yeah,
it was never good
Yeah. Well, no, that you guys aren't really known for.
for food?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, no,
I don't know. I have you ever?
No,
Okay,
that's a good-
anybody here? Have you ever heard somebody go? I went to a Jewish restaurant last night, and the food was fantastic.
I don't.
I don't know
I'm
any
not saying
Jewish
whether-
restaurants. Yeah,
I have because I grew up around a bunch of Jews.
Oh yeah, that's
I think there's some Jewish people who are pretty astounding.
Well, you go to
no. That's not. I'm not
A
saying
Jewish
that the food is no
delicatessen.
good.
a deli. Okay, I got
Oh, a
it.
deli. would work.
The Jews, they can cook really good. They're just not in the restaurant business. They're
This
in
was
the
an-
diamond business and the clothing
This was an
business and the-
Italian comedian.
Ah.
He said
Oh, there
he
you
said
go.
his wife is Jewish. He said the Italians should cater the Passover.
The real question is, if you have a Jewish delicatessen, are you going to go mechula?
Delicatessen is really a German word.
It is, but a big
Okay.
like a corned beef sandwich and everything. Okay, Dad, what is the Yiddish word of the week? Boy, we cut into your time. I'm sorry. We'll talk to your agent. We'll work out next week. What's the Yiddish word of the
Okay,
week?
I'm out here with some people from Seattle, as a matter of fact. I'm here with Julie and Ben Barrett.
Nice. Say hello to them. Hopefully they listen to the
Wearing a
pod.
Marin's jacket, and they think it's hot down here, and I'm freezing. Anyway, their Yiddish word of the week is, are you ready, folks?
I'm ready.
Say it again.
You got Mensch.
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 Oh, but I've heard that
If I-
before.
Oh my
If
gosh.
I guessed that the spelling will be Mensch.
Tracy knows it.
Man,
She's heard
Well,
it. I
then
thought
she
I
gets
thought
to
that
the-
could happen. That's why I
But
have.
that's
Is that
okay.
like
I'll
is that
just-
like mange?
I will exit from the guest.
But you're the best one.
No, I think Tim's good.
Tracy, what if you're
Thank
wrong?
you, Fern. I appreciate that.
I got
Yeah.
a backup on my list, Dad. We didn't talk about it. I got a backup.
A
if we
backup
ne- I
word?
got a backup if we need it.
We
But
might
What's the
go ahead.
backup?
What's Mensch, Tim? Any ideas?
I'll give you a backup if you want one.
Okay.
Yeah, give me
bet you
the
will.
backup so I have multiple choice.
Are you ready? Here's the next one is for blunged.
Oh.
That's not
Bunch.
Yiddish. That's a Don-ism.
You're
No,
making
no.
things up
Blunged is a real
now.
word. I checked with my source.
You're just making things up.
For,
I don't even know what that
bludgeon?
means.
No.
Bludgeon. That's from the Mesopotamian word curmudgeon,
No.
and it's the
For bludgeon,
same
it's
means
a
the
real
same
word.
thing in Yiddish. It's
No,
curmudgeon.
no, it's a real word.
It's like an old grump.
So he's wrong?
So-
I didn't hear the buzzer.
No. You know, Mormons think they know everything, Tim. But they don't.
Oh God.
All right, guys, have a
I
good
should
time
be
with
offended.
Mensch, and if Tracy wins the prize, then go to
Well,
Verblunchen.
wait a minute, Mensch. What's a Mensch mean?
Go to Verblunchen. There's the clue.
You don't know what Mensch means?
Fernalicious.
I don't have anything for Mensch.
Really? Tim?
Is
What's
it
Mensch?
Tracy
like
say?
the same as like same Yiddish meaning of wench? Like
Mensch, wench? Bench?
the mensch? Yeah.
Well, you know, and I
What,
don't,
what you describe it
I
then,
don't, well,
Tracy?
I don't know if I can describe. See, it's gonna make me sound like I don't know because I don't.
Well, take a guess.
It's what
I
you would
want to hear
call-
you say it like 3 times because that's the great thing.
It's not. I mean, it doesn't enunciate quite as well as some of the Yiddish words have.
We took a week
Mensch.
off from the phlegm because we got
Mensch,
complaints from
okay.
the restaurants that
All
we
right.
were.
No, but that's what you call a person, right? It's you say, "Oh, she's such a mensch," right? And that
Is that a compliment?
Is that a good word or bad word?
is it.
No, it's not a bad word.
No, see, and then I don't know. How do I describe that? Because I can think of people who might be a mensch, but I'm not sure how to.
Am I a
describe
mensch?
it.
Go ahead. It's all right.
I don't know. I don't think you're a mensch.
What'd
Could
you
be.
say?
Oh no.
She said, "I don't think Tom's a Mensch."
Oh no.
So
all
mensch
right.
must be a good thing then.
You ready for the answer?
We're
Yes.
ready,
What's
Don.
the
Yes,
answer, Don?
Don.
The anticipation's killing us.
Somebody who always does the right thing is a Mensch.
You're right. That's not.
Todd
Not
fits
you
that
at all.
description. That's Todd.
Nope, it's not Todd.
Oh man.
Okay. Thank you.
I
That
like
was
it.
the Yiddish word of the week.
Thank
you
you,
very
Don.
much, Dad. I love you. Say hi to the Varens. It's nice and chilly up here in Seattle, and we'll talk to you next week.
Happy Hanukkah, Don.
All right,
Happy
Don.
Hanukkah,
Thank you.
Don.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Don Oshman, brought to you by Water, the greatest name in showers. They took a week off for sponsorship. They're back,
All right.
though. They're back in.
Water's
Excellent.
back.
All right, we come back.
Water is back.
Yes, when we come back, I think we'll do the news real quick, and then we have defending the Millennials with Natalie Geum. But right before the news, I got one other little quiz: the burning questions that the internet can't ask or
Who?
answer.
Who invented it?
No, I got a couple burning questions that the internet, even the internet, can't answer.
Okay.
All right, we come back.
Like the seatbelt around your neck, like the hollow inside
Okay, we're back.
your chest.
This is Half Loves, our original band out of actually the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Marshalltown, really. They're hailed as the best currently active rock band in Iowa by the Iowa Informer. Indie rock outfit Half Loves offer a variety of songs on their self-titled debut album, made with renowned producer Brandon Darner. He's the producer of Imagine Dragons, The Envy Corps. So they've mixed pop sensibilities, heady textures, and space to create an emotionally charged sound.
I like it.
This is pretty good.
I like it.
This is called Easy to Love. You can check them out on Spotify, iTunes.
How'd you find these guys?
Well, a good friend from my dad, Craig Rolson, who worked with my dad for 20 years, was his right-hand guy for years and years. This is his son, Jeff Rolson, and he lives in Iowa. He's married. Craig has 2 sons. And I've been hearing about these guys, so I was back in Cedar Rapids, and I met with Craig, and I said, I want to hear your son's tunes. You should come on the podcast. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I highly, highly recommend.
I'd
There's
listen to them. I'd go see them.
Yes,
Go see
and
'em.
you can go to their Facebook page. So it's HALFLOVES, Half Loves, and you can see they tour around actually Iowa, Nebraska, the whole Midwest, and they're getting close because of this producer. They're getting close to maybe getting a deal here. We hear.
Awesome.
So it's
That's
very
great.
exciting. So now it's time for Fernalicious and the news.
Fern, you're up.
So, fun fact is that I don't like the news. I don't listen to the news. I don't watch the news. I don't do the news. So
So you are perfect for the job.
I know. And so I fit right into this. But, I mean, anymore, it's kind of scary to even go to sleep because you're not going to sure what you're going to be waking up to as the news. So I'm not sure that this is going to make y'all feel any better.
Dateline.
That NPR has reported today that Mr. Simon Bramhall has pleaded guilty to, well, he's adding his initials during his surgeries to livers.
Oh, to liver.
I saw this.
So during their organ surgery, he's just adding a little SB down there in the corner.
God. Oh my God.
He like tattoos their liver. I saw this. How?
Yeah, which and it's apparently this whatever tool uses this argon beam coagulator is just it's supposed to just just leave a little mark and then it's going to heal right up. However, it didn't, and so there are 2 people that have sued him
How did they know?
because it didn't heal.
It's like something
So-
went wrong.
Yeah, something apparently didn't heal correctly, and so another surgeon had to go in and was trying to fix this up, and he came across this little SB.
It's like
You know-
the quintessential narcissistic surgeon stereotype.
Totally.
Right
Gosh.
there.
Well, it's like, here's the thing. And then you do a bad surgery and you sign your initials to it. It's like, come on.
I
I mean, how arrogant do you really have to be to leave
That's-
your initials?
That's bad.
What I thought was really interesting is that this is not the first case. That there was a case in New York that this doctor, he did a surgery on a woman's abdomen during her C-section, and he tattooed his initials on her,
That's unbelievable.
On her what?
on her tummy, on her abdomen.
Outside?
Adamant.
But it sounds like on the outside because it says on her abdomen after
Because
her
like
C-section.
he's an artist basically, and he's like
bananas.
signing
exactly
his
like
name to his
he's
work.
sewing her back up
Yeah.
and then just doing a little.
Yeah.
There you
Pablo
go. That's my
Picasso.
initials. This other woman, he branded her name on her the doctor branded his name on her uterus.
Oh, kind of like I've been
I've been
there.
I was here.
And
Tom was here.
been there, done that. All right.
What happened to just marking it on your bedboard?
Why not? I thought tattoos were popular, but I didn't know this was catching on.
This is the new thing.
My gosh.
I thought that tattoo was supposed to be of your choice.
Welcome in, Cunios. People, boy, it's busy tonight, by the way. A little
Thursday
after
night
7
busy.
here. If
Well,
you're
they're
on-
all here to hear us.
Yes, they are. Go ahead, Fern. What's
Okay,
next?
the NPR also has reported. Okay, and I find this extremely disturbing, having that we live here in the Northwest. That there have been they have had another reporting of a human foot washing up on the shore.
This is
This
crazy.
This is insane.
Did you hear about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
See-
up by and isn't it up by Vancouver
Well,
Island?
this one is on. This one's on Vancouver Island. It's the 13th one though. Like, does
So
that?
there's got to be one more then. Right?
Do they come in
Eventually.
pairs?
I mean, I went to.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Apparently, it happens so often that most people aren't even concerned about it anymore. And this guy, he picked it up and he took it home. Then he called the police because apparently he was just really concerned that it would be washed back out to the ocean, and he didn't want the bear in town.
I thought you were going to say
get
he
a hold
took
of
it to like a taxidermist and,
Oh my
it was on his desk.
Goodness.
Well, too bad the doctor didn't put his initials on this foot.
But
You could track it down.
the real question is, did he have a pedicure? I mean,
Wow,
They-
how
they don't
insane.
address
Come
this.
Yeah.
on.
now.
no?
Don't address it.
Was that too
Scotty.
bad? Is that wrong?
That was-
I'm
that was-
sorry.
So this is
That wasn't
really the
called for?
13th one. So
the 13th, and they say that they've actually identified 6 of the individuals, and there wasn't even any foul play involved.
What?
I know. I feel
How
like
can
there's
there not
got to
be
be
any
a
foul
story. Somebody
plays?
fell off a boat. I'm not sure.
Or are they bodies that have already been dead? Like, were they like in the?
Well, they're still walking around. They're just missing a foot.
I mean,
We better move on to the next story. She's got
we could
another
go on
doozy.
this for a long time.
All right. Now, I really love this pilot out of Morning Edition. This plan, he flies over, he's flying from New York all the way to Seattle, and he takes a bathroom break in Montana.
Well, he didn't take
You
a
mean,
bathroom
what do you
break.
mean? He stopped the plane? or-
He landed. He landed because apparently there was a malfunction in the toilets, and so he did stop in Billings, Montana, so that the passengers could disembark
And when you got to go, you got to go.
That's what I'm saying.
to find relief of built-up pressure.
Well, wait. Is this like a commercial plane?
Yes.
and stuff?
Yes.
Well, there's usually more than one bathroom.
They
on
were
the
both
plane,
inoperable.
Right?
They were
Apparently
working.
The toilet stopped working.
Well, you can't have that.
I mean,
That's
where
what I'm saying. I like this guy.
where are the dogs gonna go?
Where are right? You gotta worry about the dogs.
Although I pride myself when I get on a plane, I never use the bath.
I
don't
I
either.
can go across country, like from here to Florida or whatever. And
No
I try to,
kidding.
Like, go,
Only
yeah.
once have I ever been in an airplane bathroom, and I did it only because I thought I should have that experience.
The Mile
But
High.
otherwise,
What?
Oh.
You mean the Mile High?
Whoa,
Well, you
whoa.
said,
I
no,
beat
she
you.
said did it.
You walked right
did
into
say
that.
it.
She didn't say.
And
I thought
she
this
used
was
it.
a family
She
show.
did
it.
One of my most proud diaper changing moments happened in a airplane bathroom.
And what
my
made it your most
gosh,
proud?
that
Because
just
there's no
confirms
room.
everything.
I mean, you're literally MacGyver at that point. I mean, you're just doing what you got to do
Tim,
to
that
get it
just
done.
confirms everything
you-
about Scott. Right there.
So you changed
Everything.
your own diaper?
No, that's
Who's-
coming later.
Okay.
What's
Well, I
the
just
next
need
story?
clarification.
Okay, while we're in Montana,
This
we
is
might
good
as well
stuff.
stick there with this poor guy. He this little teach you to retire is what I got to say. He Morning Edition reports that poor Richard Klaus, though he did not run for the city council, has been elected on 3 votes.
3 votes?
That's unbelievable. It's almost like Nick Saban in Alabama almost got voted in.
Did he? How many votes did he get?
I don't know. I'm just kidding, but I think he got a lot.
So apparently he didn't run for the job, but because nobody else wanted to vote, and there were 52 ballots, and he was the most common name that showed up 3 times, he got the job.
On 52 ballots, there was no. I mean, it was like everybody had a different person. Did
Apparently-
people actually run for this? Or?
Apparently this guy's the popular guy in town.
Well, 3 people seemed
3
to.
people.
Who would
So-
win here?
Man,
I think.
maybe Fern.
Oh,
F-
I'd be
Fernalicious.
I'd be last.
Yeah, you. Well, you know.
I
I might get a courtesy vote. Your dad might vote.
I'd
for
vote
me.
for you.
Thank you.
I say on that,
I'd be-
let's wrap up the news.
Hammered.
I like the
when I
news
did
today.
it. News
good
was good.
stuff.
Thank you, Fern.
Thank you, Fern.
We come back again. I just have to throw this in before we call Natalie Geum and defending the millennials, the burning questions that not even the internet can answer.
Not even the internet.
Oh, the burning questions are going to Natalie.
No, they're going to you. Okay, ready?
What are we calling her?
Sing it.
Would you like
Wait
to do
1
that?
second, and then we can call her. Here's the questions, and this is you know this one.
Okay.
Okay, my first one is: do you put the toilet paper up or down?
Well, I think it's got to go.
It's gotta be
over-
on the top.
Over.
Yes, over
Yeah.
the top.
That's your certainty. I've heard.
over the top.
I've heard
always.
other people who are adamant that it goes underneath because
If-
you want to pull it.
You know what? If I'm at somebody's house or I'm out at a club and it's going under, I change it.
Well, first of all, let me interrupt
That's
here.
awesome.
If you, who changes the toilet paper roll?
When you in
Well,
not your own
I mean-
house?
I mean, guys don't do that. I mean, any guy
Oh,
would never be
come
able to
on.
answer that question.
Well,
I'm gonna
I thought you
smack
just
changed.
what you do is you put get a new roll and you stick it right on top of the thing.
That's what
Oh,
I do.
but that's what
You
everyone
wait
in my
for the
family
next
does.
person
Yeah.
to do
I
it.
And then-
literally,
yes.
I am the only one who actually puts the new roll on.
Oh my.
I'm the
You're
only
giving-
one.
You're giving men
That's
a bad
number 2.
name.
That's number 2 in this segment. Number 2. If you go to number 3, I'm quitting.
See, Todd, you know what I'm talking about,
exactly,
right?
and I
Thank
get hammered for it all the
I
time.
do
but
too.
that's just
So
it's just the way it is.
It is.
It's
Sometimes-
like putting the toilet seat up.
I was
going
gonna
to
say, seat up,
Guys don't do
toilet,
that, yeah.
paper out.
easy, Scott. Remember, number 3.
Tim, do you
I'm
really get away with that? And Scott.
I don't get
and-
away
Okay,
with it.
well,
I get
okay,
in trouble.
all right.
I
all
asked.
right.
I asked the
Get in trouble.
interweb.
out. No,
and
he's
it
the
didn't know.
changer. He's the changer.
Here's the other thing. Why is Thai food so expensive? Did you guys not
is?
agree?
Is it?
You what?
Is it
I
more,
don't think it's
more
expensive.
Are you serious?
than
No.
Japanese
What?
and
Have you
Chinese?
gone to buy Thai food? It's out of control expensive.
How much for
What's
pad
expensive?
Thai? Give me
It-
a price for chicken pad Thai.
I don't. It's okay. The internet didn't know either. By the way, I asked like multiple
Tracy
ways
and I
and
are
times.
disagreement with
You might be right because my wife
I'm telling
wanted
you, you
Thai
go-
food on her birthday and she went somewhere and got it and it was like $50 for
No.
3 of
yes,
us to eat.
I'm telling you, I went to it last weekend. We went down. I like a place, Thai Rhapsody, Mill Creek, or whatever. I've done it at various places, and where I'm traveling, you go to Thai food. It's like 2 people, $82.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
I took
that's all your
And I don't
booze
even
that you put in.
and I don't
No,
even
there's
like
no
this
booze.
stuff.
Oh, I love Thai food.
Oh, I
It's
do
the
love Thai too.
lemongrass. Maybe it's the
Go to the one in
lemongrass.
Snohomish. They have this crispy garlic Thai or crispy garlic chicken.
Is
Oh
that-
yeah, we like that actually.
Is that Hong Kong Fooey's?
I don't know. It's on First Street.
Come on.
Okay,
No.
let's call Natalie Geum.
Okay.
Let's get out of this. It's a good call. Thank God I'm in control of editing now. Okay. This was one of our most, we're calling Natalie Geum, our generational defending the millennials. She's 28 years old, grew up in Snohomish, Washington. Used to babysit my children, lived down the street. And she is way into this. She has studied this. She goes to seminars. And she was one of the most popular segments. At that time, we were big. We had 82 listeners or 82 downloads.
You're a big deal.
So everybody loved this segment. And so I wanted to bring her back. Hopefully she'll answer.
Our new listeners, they need to go back and listen to this.
That's true.
I mean, to the original.
Well,
It was
we've been trying to bring her back for 6 weeks, but she just hasn't been available.
Hello, Natalie.
Natalie, you there?
Hello. I'm here. guys hear me?
Hi, Natalie. Yes. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So she was on the Rats in the Manhunt episode. If for any new listeners, have to go back. Natalie Geum, defending the millennials. We'll kind of set this up that the millennials. I mean, again, I work with a bunch of millennials. They just take a beating. They're just so easy to pick on.
Some of them deserve it.
Yes, we'd
They
established
do.
that.
I'll even say that they do.
So Natalie, the first thing we want to do, we didn't do before, so we're trying to improve ourselves, is set up what are the big grievances of the generation. So start, the baby boomers, go on down the line, and the major stereotypical grievances.
Yeah, and last time when I listened to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, it just sounds like I'm blaming the boomers without giving any context. It's like, well, it's all the parents' fault. I'm like, I really should talk about other things. I kind of revisited a lot of the notes I have on generation studies I've done, and I think one thing to note is that every generation, when they entered the workforce, had this pain point. Like the generation above them thought they were a pain in the ass, or they didn't know what they were doing, or they didn't know how to dress, or they had really bad formality. So we're not the first to deal with this. We just happen to be really large. And I think it's starting to be very painful for boomers and Xers above us to deal with all of these people with all of these needs. So I just wanted to touch on that. And then in terms of the grievances,
what's the Generation X, like the ones that are sitting around this table? I mean, what's the bitch about us?
you guys are very blunt.
We're blunt?
We're blunt?
Yeah. So going from
Say that like
boomers
it's a
to
bad
Xers.
Right? Don't we want to just get to the point?
Tracy's like, is that
What's
a bad? Say that
it's
like,
like,
it's a bad thing. Is that a bad
okay.
thing?
No, and it's not a bad. And that's the part that's like really fun if you start talking about the different traits for different generations. Is the person that's in that generation is like, well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, like,
I mean,
so what? I'm lazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Fit into that stereotype.
So what? I don't
I'm
care.
owning that stereotype.
Xers like to get to the point.
I think the millennials are not used to somebody being blunt and telling them, you're late, you're not here.
Boomers are, because we come from boomers, and boomers have given us attention our entire lives.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have been faced all the time. We were given trophies for participating.
Okay, now
M&Ms.
wait a minute. I'm a boomer, and I wasn't giving nobody a trophy for Jack.
I think you're the minority.
You're definitely in the minority.
You're the minority, Todd.
Well,
I don't
Todd,
know.
you'd be right on the edge of the boomer and
Yeah.
the Jax.
64. Where is the?
You're a
That's,
tweener.
oh, you
65.
actually, 64 is technically a boomer, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
It's 46 to 64.
yeah.
Oh, I'm right on the.
Or yeah. Yeah.
I'm right on the
That
edge.
explains a lot. On the edge of smoke and
Well,
mirrors.
and there's parts where you could actually share traits from other generations depending on the age of your parents or the people that mostly raised you. So, like, if you were raised by your grandparents, you might actually have more traits of the generation before you.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, so Xers, that in terms of the context I've had in this workforce, but Xers are very much to the point. Usually they're not as personal in terms of trying to integrate their personal life with their work. As a baby boomer does it, love to talk, build this huge bond, and talk to you about literally everything before they talk to you about business. Where an Xer might get to the point quickly, and that's a way of respecting an Xer is respecting their time. I think that's one note I had from Xers, and then millennials are entitled.
Yeah, we
because
yeah.
Informal. Lazy.
I mean, no shit. Seriously.
Baby boomers are like the first me.
The first what?
The
Me generation.
that's our new sound effects
Oh.
we just added in. Todd, nice job.
Listen,
Way
we,
to
g-
play
we
it
can't
in.
help
What?
the fact I can't have any control over the
No,
cell
I know the
phone.
cell phones. Again, we have. You remember when you used to live in Snohomish? No cell phone works here on the sticks. Natalie, you're still with us?
Oh, man.
Oh, shoot.
Am I still there?
Yeah, there you
Hello?
go. Let's before we're not rushing at all. We're good. I wanted to ask these questions to you. So, as the older generation, how do we cope with the millennials? I mean, I need some coping skills because I deal with this on a daily basis.
Yes. I think the main thing to consider is that both people are trying to gain respect of each other, and realizing that what you value is probably very different.
Very different than what?
What the millennials value.
Oh, okay.
Am I coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not you, it's us.
Are you sure?
Is that a millennial or a Gen X thing to say? It's not you, it's me.
That's usually a breakup line,
I know.
isn't it? It's not you.
How
it's
do
me.
millennials break
I'm
up?
pretty sure that one's universal.
Okay. Okay, so respect. They want respect. I mean, what can I say to a millennial when I'm
So,
irritated because they have no loyalty, they're lazy, and they don't want to.
They want to work from home.
Yeah, they want to wear pajamas
or
at
they
work.
or they wore their cutoffs to the office today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, Fern.
Fern's all over
Wow.
it.
I'm not. She
know, there's
did.
lots
I've
of-
mouth hanging
lot of
open. It was
burn.
awful.
No, we're super. There's a lot of informality. And by the way, I want to preface this. There are plenty of millennials that really piss me off. That I'm in no way proud to be a millennial when I'm in the room with them. Oh my God.
That's
There's
okay.
just
We were
a-
just talking about the Seahawks, and we're not proud to be a Seahawks when they do that. But
No.
okay, so
Well,
anything else for that as far as how we can the coping mechanisms here? I mean, this is good therapy.
No, I think understanding the values of millennials,
They have values?
What do they value most? Time off. I know they like time off.
Give
That's
us
been
your
established.
no. So millennials
Top three
to
values.
feel that they're making a difference, and they want to be challenged, and they want to have fun, and they want to have life balance. And unfortunately, that involves a lot of communication because our parents were helicopter parents, and we were told either by our teacher or our parent, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do. Oh, that's right. Oh, you're doing that right. Oh no, you need to go back and do that differently. And so sometimes there's inefficiencies because we're not very independent, communicating to their values. So realizing, okay, well, they really want to be challenged or they want to know that they're making a difference. So if you gave them a shit ton of grunt work, for instance, and you didn't explain to them what the bigger picture was or why this was important, yeah, they feel like they're being underutilized. And so I don't give a shit about this job if I'm underutilized. I'm going to look around. I know that I have options because my mom told me when I graduated college that I have options. So just kind of considering that there are a lot of values and communicating towards their values.
All right, I like that. Well, just to show that we're an equal opportunity, bitch fest here. How does a millennial cope with us? The old
They
folk.
They don't.
I mean, I'm exhausted just explaining, what you talked about all the values. It's like, just do the job, okay?
I think that,
Quit being so blunt,
the
Scott.
the only pain points I've come across are baby boomers. So a lot of my bosses are baby boomers. I think I have one boss that's an Xer. Technology is a big pain point, for obvious reasons. And boomers never want to feel old. So even though they might be behind on the times when it comes to technology, you better not tell them that or make them feel that that's true.
I tell Tim that all the time.
He's not a boomer even.
I know. He's a fellow Xer.
He's an ex.
So wait, what? I have the years. The boomers are basically mid-60s in terms of when you were born. And then from 65 to almost 1980 is Xers.
Yep.
Everybody knows.
You got a whole bunch of Xers here, Natalie.
Okay. Okay. Well, I only have one Xer boss. I'm trying to think of my pain points. But
That's
I
okay.
don't mind Xers. Like, I'm also kind of feel like I'm a little bit to the point when I usually am at work, so I don't have any issues with Xers, to be honest.
So millennials can get along with Xers.
Oh, yeah.
Are they the more,
Is this like Sagittarius and
Yeah.
Libra or whatever?
Yeah, a
you
little
know,
bit like
Xers and-
astrological
I just
signs.
realized the other day I've hired like 4 Geminis, and my
See?
wife's a Gemini.
Ooh, yeah.
Something's
Basically,
going-
you're
Yeah.
discriminating against everybody else.
Apparently, but it wasn't on the. I didn't ask them. Wasn't on the
That's crazy
application.
stuff.
You just knew.
Ooh, you'd probably get sued if it was on the application.
Can you get sued for that?
Nowadays,
Yeah.
you get sued for
No,
everything.
you can, no.
No. Okay.
Can't ask how old they are.
Yeah. So should we feel bad? We did this before on Defending the Millennials. Is, it's fair, right? It's fair for us to give them a hard time.
I think the people that live to the stereotypes the hardest, they deserve a hard time. And in terms of their coping, they need to suck it up. There's definitely some things that we've been dealt that are terrible. And
Yes, we
kind
went
of
through that.
have really offset us in terms of, like, starting our lives or buying property or getting a job that actually pays us well. Like, we've got some offsets, but there's a lot of things that are out of our control, so there's no reason to take that out on another generation.
That's true. Now, see, last time it was so wonderful because you defended the Millennials beautifully, and we all felt bad. We were like
Yeah.
depressed after.
I didn't feel bad.
Well, not except Todd. He never feels bad.
Now it sounds like she's
Now
in the time between then and now. She's sick of her own generation.
I think I agree with that, Tim. I mean, she's a lot easier to talk to this time.
Yeah,
I know. This has been fantastic.
we're
Now-
gonna make her an honorary member of the generation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Our generation.
We can make a
yeah.
T-shirt.
I know. I feel like
Sure.
I like this millennial.
Yeah.
All right.
We found the
I
one.
Actually, I get told I'm not a typical millennial, so I might not be a good example here. But
No, and I kid the people I work with because actually they actually work their tails off. They do a lot of things that aren't the stereotypical
yeah, be careful
millennial.
of their stuff. They might listen to this.
No, I know they do. I've already talked to them about it. That we tease them
good.
because every time they leave and they come back, I'm like, "So how was the interview? Seriously? Are you like, was it good, bad? I mean, what happened?" And they're like, "God, no, I'm not interviewing yet."
Hey, Scott, a sidebar. Like, I really do want to talk to you about all of your millennials. That's a way longer conversation because I know you have a lot of turnover. So we can talk about that also.
Oh, turnover! I'm like a freaking pancake flip-flap turnover. I mean, I got more turnover than.
Quit
What's sad
hiring
about that?
millennials.
Yeah. Well, anyway. All right, Natalie Geum, thank you
Good
so
luck
much.
not hiring millennials.
No, you have to because that's all that's there. Over 50% of the workforce.
Oh my gosh.
Merry,
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Natalie.
All right, Natalie.
Bye-bye.
Very fun. We love Natalie. Isn't she
She's great.
fantastic?
Yeah,
She
she's
is
good stuff.
fantastic.
She educates. I mean, she just lays it down there.
Hey, could you see my truck out there? Because I left the keys in it, and I just didn't want to make sure. No, it's over on the side there.
This side,
No,
which side?
way over by the gas station.
I don't know.
Why did you leave the keys?
I'm sitting
Can't, there's
behind.
cars blocking.
What do you
can't
mean?
See it.
Okay, I have to do one read here. So let's go. I don't know. Play something.
Play something and play
Well-
something while we're waiting.
No, something just happened because this thing just shut off.
Okay, so everybody quiet, and then I'll come back and I'll.
No,
Ready? I'm going to do the read. All right, I'm going to do the Outdoor Biz Podcast read. By the way, they hit 11,000 downloads, and he's only been doing this for, I don't even know if it's been a year yet, like 6-7 months. So today's episode is brought to you in part by the Outdoor Biz Podcast with Rick Sayes. So first, the outdoor industry, it's bigger than you think, people. $880 billion industry. It drives some serious people to buy great products and get outside. You should really check it out. Rick interviews leaders in the outdoor recreation business, gets their stories, tips, strategies, ideas that you can apply and take to your outdoor career. You can take it to any career. Tim, you can take it to whatever, part of your life that you'd like to. Business, next level, anything. He's got the biggest names in the industry. Some interesting guests. He had a woman on from Australia who's a big hit down there and does these really cool documentaries. She's a big adventurist. From your biggest famous retailers, guide services, all of that. So you check it out, 30 minutes or so, just really interesting interviews. Just had my friend Jay Getzel on, the president of Mountain Smith. So check it out, all the places you can listen to podcasts, iTunes, Apple, Stitcher, and more. Search the Outdoor Biz Podcast.
You're going to have to edit some
Yeah, I got the music.
because this went dead, and I don't have the right cord to
I'll add
charge
the
it.
music back. It'll sound beautiful.
Yeah, but you're going to wind up editing out what I'm saying. I don't like that.
I'm not gonna say I won't.
Okay, so wait, I got a bombshell.
Oh,
But let me set up the no you didn't. Ready?
Oh, no, you didn't? Because this probably would fit in.
Oh, we gotta do 3 things. What am I
I did
doing?
3 things.
Jeez.
Hello.
Trace.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to skip.
He's all ready. He's excited.
I am
It's all,
excited.
it's all
'cause-
good. It's all right.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Tim's going to like it.
Okay, we're back. We're from Cunio's. It's plausibly live here. We're on Thursday. Just a little reminder, everybody. We're going to record hopefully next Monday night from Fred's if Tim's not too busy and has 17 Christmas parties to go to.
Hey, you still listening?
And we'll hopefully
we're
drop
back.
that on
Somethin
Tuesday.
About
We'll try and
Nothin
drop
show.
this one to when you're listening to this, hopefully on the Friday. And now it's time for Tracy. TracyJansen.com, by the way. We put all this in the show notes and her 3 things. And this is a very timely topic, I must say.
Well, I wrote about 3 things. One was about a show I went to, which was the Pack AD, which is a wonderful band from Canada, from Vancouver, just right across the border. 2 women. Amazing sound, amazing show. You
Yeah,
should
just
go
a
see them.
guitarist and
A guitar player and a drummer. That's it. And they would blow your face off. That's kind of what I said happened to me the first
blow
time I
your
saw
face
You
off.
blow your face off.
Wow.
So-
I like that.
Anyhow, so I saw them, and I saw them at the Sunset. And if you've never been to the Sunset Tavern, you have to go because it is one of my favorite venues in Seattle. It's like going into your best friend's basement. It's cool. It's really cool. Anyhow, and then the main thing though was about injuries, and as we get older, and if we're all
why is everybody looking at me?
Fernalist just
Jeez.
rolling her eyes.
the Gen X and the baby boomers, we're getting older and things happen. And this is what I always say as a yoga teacher. It's like injuries are a byproduct, a natural byproduct of leading an active life. So if you're out there and you're exercising or you're hiking or doing whatever makes you happy in an active way, you're probably going to get hurt eventually. So I was just talking a little bit because I have 3 injuries.
Everything's in 3s with you.
I know. It's one of my favorite numbers. And it's been really hard. And it's hard for me to teach yoga because I have to modify everything. Sometimes I have to say, I can't do this. I can't demo this because I have a blown meniscus and a torn rotator cuff. And it's just, ugh. So my blog talked about when I was working with a member at the Y, and we were doing some.
Was it Tim?
It wasn't Tim.
Oh,
I have
sorry.
not seen Tim Boyle at the Y.
I'm
yet.
at the LA Fitness right
Well,
now.
you need,
Oh,
you
well,
need
oh my
to come
goodness.
over here. Anyhow,
Yeah.
so
My daughter works there though.
so I'm on
Good recovery, Tim.
I'm on the Bosu ball, which is like this thing to work core, and I get on, and I'm thinking, I've got this because I'm pretty strong, and I stand up, and I'm like, whoa, and I grab the bar at the wall because I'm thinking, I'm gonna die now.
So you had 2 injuries before you got on the Bosa ball? That's why you have the torn
Pretty
rotator
much,
cuff?
yeah, no.
Okay.
And one of my friends who works there, who's a trainer, she walked by and she goes, Tracy, don't get old. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. And that was it because I said to her, for the first time, I was like afraid. I was afraid that I was going to fall and like I'm going to break a hip or something
Break a
like
hip.
that. And I started thinking about that afterwards, and I thought that's it, because I work with seniors. I teach yoga to seniors, and I teach yoga to all age groups. And what I see are the people. There's a certain set of people who identify themselves by their injuries. It's like, hello, I'm a herniated disc. And I'm like, well, but what's your name, right? But they're so identified with that, and they've already created their own limitations right there. And what I see in the other there's another set of people who are like, yeah, I've torn my rotator cuff, I've broke my leg, I've done this, I've done that, but
Thomas Rawls.
Yep.
Is that who you're talking about?
CJ Prosyth.
but
Those
they,
are Seahawks that literally can't they're
They
always
can't walk
injured.
across the street without being injured.
Yeah.
no, but they're the people that don't, that don't dwell on their injury.
Yes.
They don't get old, right?
They don't get old, no matter what.
They get better, they recover, and I'm not saying don't ignore, don't ignore your injuries, but I think there's that subtlety of the people who get frail really quick, by the time you're 55, you're walking with a cane. And,
Yeah.
And some of that, is just fate and the luck of the draw. But I also think it's how we deal with injuries as we age. And Tim, tell us about your back.
Speaking of frail and walking with a cane.
Is that your cane right there?
Cue the back injury.
I don't want to bore
Is
everybody
that you
with
in the
my-
handicap spot out there?
We might.
I should. You know what? I would have liked
should
that
be
to
worth
park like
something.
3 blocks away.
It should be worth something, shouldn't it?
It should.
So I call Tim. It's like, God, I got to call my father, see how he's doing. Then I got to call Tim, see how he's doing. Every time I talk to you, how's the back?
How you
You know
doing?
what? I don't
How
want to
you
bore
doing?
everybody. I'll just tell you that I'm on the men's. I'm doing a lot better. I'm still sleeping on the floor though. Tonight's going to be a big night. I'm going to try to go back into
Wow.
the bed.
Back
Although
in
the
the rack.
dogs have
Whoa.
already taken my spots.
course
Both
they
Agnes
have.
and Murphy have completely taken over. So they're not going to be very happy.
They must be millennials.
I think the wife's fine with me being down on the floor. But it's not a very comfortable sleep being down on the floor. I gotta tell you.
That sounds horrible.
That's yeah.
Sounds horrible.
But-
Nothing 3 shots of whiskey won't take care of though.
Hey, now.
So are you going to change what you do, like going forward? Are you going to, that's what I think is you got to be aware of the fear that comes. Like when I first started teaching yoga and I herniated some discs in my lower back, it was horrible. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm a yoga teacher. I can't get off the floor. I literally was on the floor and
Oh, he
somebody
knows what you're
That
talking
seems
about.
like a problem.
Believe me,
Yeah.
it was
an
a
occupational.
life-changing experience.
You
being
said
it really was. I was on the floor for like a week, and I'm a pretty active person. I like to go to the gym every morning, and it really it's life-changing not being able to get off the floor. Let me tell you.
But you
But now I'm back.
You're-
Now I'm already going back to the gym and
right.
trying to lightly work out. And
You look good.
thank you.
You
Appreciate
are
it.
marvelous. But how do we? Our attitude. It's all about attitude.
I
Isn't
think it is. It's like are you gonna walk around saying that I am a torn meniscus the rest of your life, or are you gonna say, you know what, I tore my meniscus, but I'm working towards getting better, and whatever that recovery looks like for you, whether you choose surgery or physical therapy or something else. I just think that the most important thing is, number one, as we get older, we gotta lift heavy things.
Yes.
What we got away with not doing when we were in our 20s and 30s, we don't have that option anymore. If we want to stay active and maybe live a better life than our parents did, more active later on, you got to lift weights. And it doesn't have to. It
Fern's
doesn't.
got the look like.
Can you
"What?"
see
I
Fernalicious?
don't wanna
We
look.
have.
It's funny
I'm
that
lifting 5 nights a week.
You are this time of
I
year.
am the grunt
You are.
king.
You're the
Up and
5-tool
down
player.
up and down the bleachers.
You're the
Oh yeah.
Sherpa.
You think
You are
I,
the
you think
Tasting
I'm skinny? I don't
Norgay
understand that.
Tasting Norway. Anytime he can say that, it's just he loves it.
They said it on Fox last night. Tucker Carlson referenced that, and I'm like, what?
Is he the
He's
liberal
stealing
on
my-
Fox, or is he
No,
the?
he's not.
There's a
He's
liberal on Fox.
Oh, there's.
Oh, they
tons.
got, yeah,
They
no,
got
they,
the-
they bring them in.
Fox actually brings, unlike
bust them
CNN,
in.
they don't have any conservatives.
Fern, do you have an injury right now that you'd like to report?
No,
Fern's not
I've been
injured.
recovering from my hip flexor injury for, I think, a year and a half.
The only injury
just
she's got is
ridiculous.
her
Hip
wine
flexor.
glass
I'd like
is
to get
empty.
more
Yeah, that
information
is-
about
That's
that.
her injury
My
right
empty
there.
wine glass. That's it.
I'd like to get
No,
more
but I do
information.
think what Tracy just said about the whole lifting of the weights is, I think that's, that's really been on my mind lately.
Well, come
Yeah,
to the
it's-
Y.
That's
I'll
good
help you
info.
out.
Yeah. Which wife?
Mill Creek?
Mill Creek.
Mill Creek
Man, I
what?
love that.
I've got an injury. Nobody's asking about my
Oh,
injury.
what's your
Oh,
injury?
What do you
sorry.
got?
Oh, we know how you're injured.
How? Ego?
I don't want to say on the air.
Scotty too hottie,
but your
what's
wife
wrong?
carries them around
I-
in her purse.
Oh, that's definitely gonna get edited.
That is editable.
Are you saying
Hold
he's-
on. Can I get a moment of silence so I can edit?
He's basically saying you're man-straighting.
Oh, I already told my man card. That was
You
that
turned
was
that
gone.
in.
I
Yeah.
turned that in a
Okay.
while ago.
Well, you
Okay.
typically when you get married, you have to turn that in.
Part of it, at least.
Yeah.
All right, what's your
Depends.
injury, Scott?
Depends on your age. Anyway, so I had teeth problems. So now I'm going to be toothless, the toothless guy, because my body.
Toothless?
Yes, I'm toothless. Don't I sound toothless? Do I sound toothless to you?
Are you getting dentures?
Not yet, but I think that's that could be something to look forward to.
Get some bling.
Look
like,
I should. So I got my
Get
bottom
a grill.
tooth, my
Get a
one
grill.
tooth. I have this thing called resorption, which is a mystery because they used to see one resorption case like a year. Now they see them 3 times a week, and they don't really know. There's no molecular or scientific reason
What's
for it.
happening?
So what's happening is inside the tooth, there's just bad stuff happening. I don't know the technical term because I'm not. I went to ASU. I mean, be kind. Although ASU basketball, we should talk about that later.
Easy.
They're playing hard. Bobby Hurley is it built up. I had 3 root canals, and it starts inside the tooth, which is kind of gross. And I had it's from an impact or trauma earlier in your life. Now I had 3 years of braces. I had all kinds of
Did you have the
issues.
headgear and stuff? And
You know, I didn't. Did I ever have the headgear?
did
I
you have the
can't remember.
underbite, overbite, underbite?
No, but I had fake teeth. I had fake 2 fronts, and I'd flip them, and it was like a
mouth
carnal.
injury. Was that after
Yeah.
you got married?
No, that was before. It was long when I was
Just
good.
checking.
Boy, he is.
Whoa.
That's wow.
Well, he's blunt. He's
That he is. He's very blunt.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask Natalie. So next Thursday, I get that baby out. Now the big decision is implant, and then I'm going to have to fake one. Maybe I'll, next week or, no, the week after. Anyway, for Christmas, I'm getting my tooth out.
Oh,
But-
lovely.
Aren't they supposed to
Oh.
bring you 2 front teeth?
Yeah.
I'm getting one out.
Well, you're Jewish. You're doing the opposite of Christmas.
Can I write that off in the new tax plan? It's a donation, the tooth.
I think as long as the tooth is out, we should do a photo shoot.
We should.
Something like with a Budweiser
Everybody's like,
hat
man, you should get a gold one, man. That'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
bad. That's my injury, among other things.
Scotty, you're
Other
gonna
than my bank account is, I'm dying over here. Go ahead.
well, I could jump. I'm in that boat with you too.
Yeah.
I see you over there. You're gonna have to talk to Joe about his missing tooth story.
Okay.
You guys will have another
Joe
opportunity.
the Coug?
Joe the Coug.
So, Tracy, the point is,
The point is, don't get old. Don't get old. I mean, we're all going to grow older if we're lucky. Like I mentioned in my blog, if we're lucky, we'll all grow older.
That's true.
But there's a big difference, I think, between growing older and getting old. And I
And
think a lot of
behaving old.
yeah, and I think
Don't
a lot
behave
of
old.
I think a lot of us get old before we need to.
See, and I think Trace, if you're gonna start hibernating, that's getting old.
Oh, but
Oh.
I don't know.
that's a part of the process
Unless
as well.
unless the soup kitchen's open, then
You're-
that means the door's open. Then we all can come
I
over.
go to a show every now and then. I might
That's
be going
true.
out Saturday, so it's not, I'm
Hey, we
kinda
have a date on the
competing.
23rd.
Oh, that's
All right,
right.
hey,
yeah.
this
Easy.
is great. This is great. We got to get out of here. I apologize.
22nd and the 23rd,
gotta
right?
go.
2 nights.
We got to go.
23rd. I don't know
All
what's
right.
on the
When we come back, no, you didn't.
Oh,
and,
the no, you
and
didn't.
Todd Elvig, the 5-tool player. I mean, he was so excited when he came in.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
He's like,
it's-
I got.
I am going to create
Havoc?
controversy.
I love it.
Hey, stop whispering now.
When we come
I'm
back,
going to turn those mics up.
no, you didn't. Okay, we're probably running.
The last
like-
time these guys got together, it was nuts.
Okay, we're back. Scott Oshman, Tim Boyle, Fernalicious, Tracy Jansen, Todd Elvig. We're going to open it up, and this is a dangerous proposition what I'm about to do right now because we did have some things on the list to talk about. No, you didn't, but I'm going to throw it to Todd Elvig here, and this is a complete mystery. I'm kind of peel back.
Reluctantly.
Actually,
Yes,
I told you the
reluctantly.
other night. I think you heard it already.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say I'm like revealing
This
behind
is
the
like
curtain.
throwing
This
the
is-
dice. big
This
time.
is. I'm closing my eyes. If you could see me right now, I'm just going to pray. Go ahead.
I went down to McDaniel's.
Yes.
You did hear this. Went down to McDaniel's, made a purchase.
McDaniel's Do It Center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. That's not that Go ahead.
I bought a 9mm assault rifle.
Whoa.
You did not.
No,
and
you
it is
didn't.
fully semi-automatic.
You bought.
No.
That's,
At
that's an
McDaniel's?
oxymoron.
Why did you buy it?
It's not.
I want to know why.
I
you
love
bought
that
it.
because that was what I was waiting for right there.
Yes. I asked the same
Well,
question.
he's
actually.
going hunting.
For what?
We're building up our arsenal at our house.
Why?
Are you a doomsday prepper?
We're not really a doomsday prepper, but before any of our freedoms get taken away, we're loading up.
Now, why would you think your freedom's not in the Obama presidency? That was the gun
Because
sales are the
because
highest.
I
in the
really
world.
believe that at some point, some of these weapons, which you have to be able to understand ammunition and weapons, and we had this conversation, Tim. Because the rifle is black and it's got really cool fins on it, and it looks like some sort of a SWAT rifle.
Well, it is. If it's is it an AR-15?
No, it's
Oh,
a,
it's a not.
It's a 9mm. It just looks.
It's a 9mm.
It
Okay.
looks awful, right?
What'd you buy? What model?
Welcome to Gun Talk on
Gun
Something About
Talk.
Nothing.
No,
I'm
I
your
bought
host.
it for plinking, and so I've got this place. I got
For
some,
what?
I got some plinking.
Plinking?
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 Plinkin?
Is that a
What plinking
Jewish?
is?
Yeah.
Plinking is-
Jewish guy?
Plinking
Old man
is-
Plinkin's kid?
Plinking is where you go out and you just blow off some rounds. You know, you got a
Oh.
hillside and you just.
Is
you
that a
just-
gun range?
Plinkin?
Well,
Plinking.
he has his own gun range. He just
I
goes
do because I know a lot of people in Snohomish, and there's a lot of people have lots of property, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, large property, I would say.
That they can
That's
plinkin.
fine. Again, so is it in a safe? Do you have a safe at home?
It's
or-
got a trigger lock, but you know, what's the term? If you can't get to it, you can't use it. So
So it's on the nightstand?
no, it's not on the nightstand.
It's under the bed.
But I bought it. I got it because you know, my boys got two ARs, and it's not like we're really redneck, but I mean, we like to go out and
That's fine.
shoot.
It's a little
if you-
redneckish.
It's
So
no,
what's-
it's fine.
Tell
but
me, so I'm coming from the standpoint of somebody who's never shot a gun in my life, and yet part of me wants to know what that feels like because I kind of like energy. I like explosions of energy, and I think that's like that's kind of a cool So my question is, why, if you're going to go out and target shoot or
Plinkin'.
Plinkin', why
ma'am,
do you
just
need
going out
an
plinkin'.
automatic weapon? Why can't you take your rifle or your what do you call the revolvers? What do you call?
A revolver.
Okay.
By the way, Tracy's looking at me. Not a
I'm
good
having
at
Well,
six
that.
shooter.
I had
a
to-
revolver's a 6-shooter.
Yeah. Hogan's
had-
Heroes.
What's
I
the-
know
wheel gun.
nothing. Nothing.
I would. Okay, so here's something that I think is really hard for some people, or for the way the news has portrayed weapons. When you say something like fully semi-automatic, it's semi-automatic. There's no such thing as fully semi-automatic. It's either semi-automatic or it's not. Semi-automatic.
That's
just
why I
means
said it was an oxymoron.
Yeah,
Right.
That's true.
Semi-automatic just means that it's loading itself every time you pull the trigger, right? Well, if you have a good revolver, you can shoot as fast with a revolver, which doesn't, you know, it goes around in a chamber, and every time you pull the trigger, it shoots. The same with a semi-automatic. The difference between that and, say, like a pump shotgun, every time you pull the trigger, you have to pump it, or lever action, you have to do the lever action. There isn't, you know, most of the deer rifles I've used are semi-automatic. So a 30-06 or a 30-30, you know, those are big shells, and they shoot as fast as any of these other weapons. I think that when you go out and you use these weapons, it's almost like driving fast, right? It's like you're using something that's dangerous, right? If you drive fast, it's dangerous. If you jump out of a plane, it's dangerous. It is
An adrenaline rush.
there is a certain amount of that. There's power there. You're holding power in your hands, right? And you know, I mean, it's a good thing.
Again, I can appreciate the fact I've heard of people that they know a lot of people that go to target, they go to ranges, and they have a pistol of some sort, and it's fun. I get that. My brain can
Right.
get
Like
that.
I said, there's a part of me that wants to do that because I'm the person who just like the last 5 years started to go to the drag races. The yoga teacher goes to the drag races,
Really?
the NHRA nationals,
yeah.
and I insist that we sit at the end of the drag strip, not at the beginning, not where the lights are, but at the end, because if you've never felt that body rush, when those cars come down at 300 miles an
Yeah,
hour,
yeah.
it's like from the head to the toe. Oh my God. And so like I get that.
It is
I
something.
had no idea.
Fern,
Have you never
Fern's
done
pulling
that?
up her phone right now. She's looking for the next race.
I'm sorry. Tracy, I'm gonna-
Evergreen Speedway,
No,
please.
no. You have to go to the nationals.
Yes.
The first weekend in August, and it's the big tour. It's like, and I never knew this. I know we're getting off guns. I never knew.
No pun intended.
So this is like Seafair weekend. This is always the weekend that the hydroplanes are racing and stuff. And the first time I went, I was like,
Holy
where did
cow.
all these people come from? You're like waiting in line forever, but it's
Tracy
you
Jansen,
gotta
the most
go.
interesting woman in the world.
There's some of those things-
adrenaline junkie.
I
Tracy.
had
But
no
here's-
idea.
I didn't either.
Here's the appreciation. This is kind of a little bit of a redneck thing, but But if you open yourself up just a little bit, it's just like trying to open yourself up for, I don't know what it would be for me, but you know what it would be?
A mani
You know what it would be?
Mani-pedi?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. I covered figure skating, the American figure skating in Everett, right? And I did not want to do it. I thought to myself, figure
Not gonna
skating?
do
Are
it.
you flipping kidding me? I am not going to go. I walked away with the most respect for those athletes
See,
I've
there you go.
ever
Wow.
had.
There
Wow.
you go.
Because it was amazing.
That's the softer side of talk.
Right.
That is.
No, but
appreciate
you
that.
always think, oh, come on. No, they work hard, and it
Oh,
was
they're
amazing.
athletes. They
for
work their
sure.
tails
They
off.
are
Okay.
athletes.
That's good. I think gun discussion is good. Again, if they're safe and you know what you're doing, you're going to have fun, you're not hurting anybody. You know, I don't know.
To me, it comes down to how do we keep those lethal weapons that's dangerous, right?
That's very dangerous.
How do you keep it out of the people who are nuts? And, and what is it? This is the anniversary of the Sandy Hook.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the 5
You
year
know?
Oh, that's just as horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah.
It-
and so how do you keep that out of those people's hands?
Well,
that's
that's
what
a
I want to
whole-
know.
That's a whole nother
I
topic.
absolutely think that you can't protect yourself from stupid, right?
And crazy.
And
That's
crazy. Yeah.
That's
Because
crazy.
you look at some of the countries where there's no guns, right? What do? They use acid to the face. They do things that are really horrible.
They do. Yes, they do. But their mortality rates and all kinds of other things, that's a whole nother
Easy,
thing. But,
come on.
but we, like I said before, we've already covered this ground, and
Right,
it's worthy of covering again. You're not going to get rid of the guns. We love
No.
our guns.
Yeah, that's
It's not
gonna
happening.
happen, not
We
in
just got to figure
America.
out different, requirements and boundaries to save some
keep
people.
people safe.
Yeah.
Just keep people safe. That's all I really want.
Net neutrality.
Oh my God.
I'm kind of bummed out about this.
I'm really bummed. But you know what? What I was reading today was even though the FCC voted to abolish that it has to be passed in the Senate.
It does. Because I asked somebody that today, and they
Yeah.
said no.
No,
and
so
it only passed.
call-
It only
call.
passed like 3-2 or something.
Yeah,
I
so
heard.
everybody call. I mean, if you
Party
value
lines.
that, if you value your information,
Yeah, so
you know
this
that
is-
you could Google, your assault rifles or whatever
Yeah,
you
no,
want.
no, I get it.
Yeah,
you know?
drag racing.
Yeah. Right? God.
Manny Petty. But this is bad because this is going to. We were working towards where the huge cable companies and monopolies, where the consumer, just like dealing with Amazon, the huge paradigm shift of the consumer getting to decide how much it costs, where they find it, all these different great things that are for the consumer benefit. This is kind of rolling back in
Right.
time because it was an on-demand consumer kind of mentality we're driving to, where you cut the cord and you get to see what you want, when you want, how you want.
Right.
Well, this tears all of that back because now there's a throttle that now you're going to pay more if you want to go see, whatever access you want to whatever. You're just going to. The possibility is you got like 3 or 4 big, huge companies who are just going to say, well, guess what? You want to do that? You want to
Cost
search
you
on
more.
Google?
Yeah.
That's going to cost you. You want to go
So they're
look
back
at
in my
Facebook?
pocket. They're
That's
back in my pocketbook.
Exactly. So your rates
Again.
are going to go up.
Well, and I
They're
think
taking your money, Fern, and then they're going to
Again.
charge you more.
And I think
Boom. What do you think?
Well, I think I heard that it's like 80 or 86% of the American population was against
Yes.
that, and so it's like, is our government going to work for us or what?
I never really heard what the
70% of the America was against the Obamacare too, but that still got shoved down our throat. So it happens in government, and
What was the
So-
what was the for
Well, let's
reason?
get into that,
What's
'cause-
the for reason for net neutrality?
The 4?
I've never
Yeah.
really understood
I
what the
agree. I
for
don't-
was.
Oh, net
What it-
neutrality is actually so that everybody has a
No,
choice.
no.
Oh, against
Why-
it to get rid of it? Why are we getting
yeah,
rid of it?
I never really
One of
understood.
the biggest things is because smaller communities and rural communities don't have access to broadband or as much access yet, although that's changing rapidly because great things like Google are doing things. So one of the things is they want to give access to more Americans in rural places, not dense populations, so they have access to wireless and internet services. And it's going to cost them, but that's one of the things.
I still don't understand. I mean, they can put that in now and charge them extra to put it in. I mean, it happens all the time around here. You can be on Broadway right down here. You cannot hook up to Comcast or broadband. There's a
Yeah.
whole section there
because
where
they
you can't.
haven't come and dug the lines and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Like I said, hopefully it'll.
Well, call your congressperson.
Yeah, if
You
you're a
know,
fan. If
'cause
you don't want to
apparently-
just get nickel and dime and pay for every little thing, you think
Yeah.
subscription services are just, here and there? I mean, it's going to be subscription to
Well, it's
all
already
kinds.
creeping in because Comcast is starting to throttle their internet. You
Yes.
can have the first so many gigabytes,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
Well, they'll charge you. You get like Comcast, you get a terabyte a month, and if you go over that terabyte, they're going to start charging you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so if you're a huge Netflix user
Yes.
or something, you could rack that. You could hit that terabyte number.
My kids are going to freak out. Their
well,
Netflix
for our
go away.
streaming, I have to buy. I can't use their plan. I mean the
Right.
general plan. I have to buy a block of more than I could use in order to keep the price down. So I buy 30 gigabytes a month wireless. Right, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
I don't get into that. All right. Trumpy just keeps getting hot water. I mean, he's got the Russian thing chomping at him. He's got the Putin thing chomping at him. He's got the sexual harassments. I mean, come on. Did we not really think that was about to come resurface? I mean, it was a matter of if not when, right?
Right?
On the other side, they got
Tim.
the FBI.
Tim.
The
It's like
FBI.
who's
Come
not
on.
getting? Well, no. What are you asking me? Who's
I don't
not
know.
Getting, who's
usually-
not getting? Who's not getting accused of it right now? Is the question.
Fern is not being.
Fern, I
Fern
don't
is
think.
not,
Not
but-
that I
Yeah.
know
but,
of, although
Not
it's
yet.
only, let's see, it's got time
The
yet
thought
tonight.
that I had earlier was, I wonder about all those guys that are sitting on the edge of their seat
Oh,
right
yeah.
now,
Hell yeah.
We
waiting
talked
for the
about
phone
that.
call.
It's
I'm
coming.
like, it
All
makes
those
me kind of
people in
giggle a little
Congress
bit.
and-
You
I'm
know
like,
what? And that's interesting because I was talking about this with the mister because I had read something and I don't know where the source was about where are the men who they're out there that know they have done something real bad. Who are the ones that are getting ahead of the game and saying, you know what, I was a dick.
I haven't
I don't
received.
think
I
there's
haven't
a lot of
received any
those out
phone
there.
calls.
But
I haven't
but
got any
who's getting
apologies.
ahead? Everybody's just waiting
Well,
back. Like,
wouldn't it have been fun to be in Matt Lauer's brain
Oh,
during the
God.
3 weeks before he
What a
got
flippin' idiot.
nailed? He's sitting on doing the news stories.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing, Charlie Rose. I mean, you can go down the line.
right.
All right, we got to get out of here. This whole thing might not even make it, but I want to thank everybody. Thanks our guest today, my dad, Natalie Geum. Also our featured original artist in the band, Half Loves, and also Jeff Rolson there of the Half Loves for giving us permission. Thank you to the sponsors, Outdoor Biz Podcast, Cunio's, and I do want to mention STSBN.com. We huge basketball lineup tomorrow night, 7:15.
Big
The
one.
tip-off,
Isn't it the
huge.
Grizzlies
How
or
come
the-
Tim's not coming?
You want to come? Come on
What's
over.
tomorrow night?
Glacier Peak at Jackson boys basketball.
I
It's
might.
the
Who do
cave
you got,
versus
who
the
do you
den.
got doing it?
Well, I'm doing it. What else do you need to know? No, I don't. Johnny Mac's on IR. Speaking of injuries, come on over, Tim. We need you.
Todd Sigma. I might be there.
It really
Yes.
makes a good show when you're there.
We have a
thank you.
lot of fun. So next, anyway, we want to thank that. So thanks to everybody else. Thanks for sharing with everybody else. Next week, I got a big debut. It's the debut of the segment called Booze Talk. It's Booze Talk from Nashville,
Can I
Tennessee.
be the expert witness?
You can. Where Jeremy Graham geeks out on bourbon, whiskey, and more, so all of us can be cool and feel like grown-ups when we try to order a fancy drink.
Ooh, I like
Are there
it.
going to be samples?
For you, Fernalicious,
You
always.
know, Fred's has one of the best selections of
Oh,
bourbon.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And if we're going to be
Bring
at
it.
Fred's on Monday, I feel like that is
Yeah.
it's going to be.
I'm gonna
It
have to
is.
get my drinking cap on Monday.
That's good for your back. Thanks to everybody, and I want to thank everybody at Cunio's here on Highway 9. I didn't do that read, which I have. I mean, just Cunios.com. Seriously, what else can I say? I mean, the food is redonkulous.
The people.
The people are amazing.
They are.
Thank you so much for the big table here in the
Tater
corner.
tots.
Tater tots.
The gravy.
Ugh.
No,
What was
they're
what were
the
those
they're the
Parmesan
cowboy
chicken?
tots.
Yes.
Yep, these are the
Cowboy
cowboy
tots.
tots. But that was
Fern's had them in her tots encroaching on me this whole time. I mean the
tots.
tater tots.
That,
is
there's
what I'm
no
talking
better place to end than that.
Oh, that's
Wow.
and
about. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble now.
that's exactly.
30 years from now in like 2040 or something.
that Tim was looking at
Tim?
her tots. That's not right.
We digress.
We'll see. Thank you for listening, and remember, have a great week, and remember, talk to each other. It could save the universe. Just might.
or create a lawsuit.
Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Did he say tot to each other?
Something About Nothin is a production of the Cairn Company in cooperation with STSPN. For more information on this program, please visit somethingaboutnothin.com.